G'day boys. So I've been getting asked lately a lot about some dimensional hull teams and what I've been running for the Ellunia dungeon. So you can see here what I've done is this isn't my normal team, but I have tested this now. I've run this about 300 odd times. I wanted to just build a team basically that I know absolutely everybody can build. All of these units here, this is only a 3-star unit, 3-star unit here, and Roy being a 2-star unit means that they're very, very easy to build. And then the Riley being fusible. So absolutely everybody has access to this and can make this team here. There are some replacements that you can do if you wanted to with some Nat 5s. But like I said, I just wanted to start at the absolute baseline here that everyone can achieve, and then you can only build from here. So let's just quickly go through the runes on everybody and look at the stats. We'll start with the Bernard up the top here, just on a Swift Blade set. You could run him on a Violent set if you wanted to, but I've opted more for the just to get the stats out with the Swift Blade set here and getting the damage. He's on a speed, crit damage, and HP build. We've gone for some skill 1 crit damage on attack up effect as well on the right side, and then just some single target crit damage on the left side here. So just sort of tanky. You want him fast enough here just to help you with that speed buff and that turn rotation as well. He also offers the 30% attack power lead as well for all of your wind units. So pretty strong in this dungeon. Great utility unit with the defense break from skill 2. Decent damage out of skill 1, and then the utility of the speed buff with his and boost with his skill 3. Next up we have the Riley. Riley's like a core unit here. She's so good for this dungeon with the constantly getting up the immunity as well as offering the cleanse. There is the Oblivion sort of that can come onto some of your units later on when you're versing the boss. So having that cleanse on skill 3 can be really, really strong and important just to get rid of it, or with the immunity out of the skill 4 or skill 2, just so you have immunity on when they're trying to do it, so you don't get it on you in the first place. So really, really strong unit here, and you also want to have her built for a lot of other areas in the game as well. So she's on a speed, HP, and HP, skill 3 recovery on the right side, and then we've just gone minus damage from water on this side here because this is the main place that I use her. Next up we have the Royd. So he's built for siege here. You can see really, really slow, just on a defense, HP, defense build, violent destroy. This is honestly purpose built for my siege offenses and things like that. So he's not really designed for here, but he still does the job fine, and he's a very, very consistent defense breaker. And with the Bernard speed buff and boost on that, he gets a bit more speed anyway, so he isn't too slow. Definitely fulfills his role that he needs in the team here as is. And then lastly we have the Naomi on a rage will set. So we've gone for the attack, crit damage, and attack. Some single target crit damage and skill 2 crit damage on the right side, and then just some damage dealt on water here on the left side. Now this Naomi is built like this with the wheel set here specifically for my R5. I use her there, as well as I use her in my speed GB12 team. So this is sort of why she's on the wheel set and kind of runed up like this. It's not specifically for this dungeon. I didn't actually rune anything specifically for this dungeon. When I got asked to showcase a team for here, and I decided, I'm just going to make a fully free-to-play team, all of these units were already ruined. I just slapped them in there to see how it would go, and like I said, I've run like 300 or 400 times without a single fail with these as is. So you could definitely optimize these units for this dungeon here, but I just wanted to see how it went, and when it works, it works, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We'll go through now and do one of the runs, and then we'll talk about afterwards some potential sort of replacements for some of these units here, because while all of these units here are very, very farmable, I know that 3 of them now are actually 2As, so it will require a fair amount of dimensional hull energy investment, especially if you're an earlier, newer player. You might not want to do that. You might not be really doing siege, so maybe you don't want to use the Royd, or maybe you don't use your Naomi in R5, or you've got the Dots team already for your GB12, so you probably don't necessarily need the Naomi for your Giants team either. So there are replacements for some of these units here with some Nat 4s or some Nat 5s, even if you have them. You could replace the Naomi, basically, just think of her as a damage dealer. You could replace her with Phrasevelg, you could replace her with Yen, you could replace her with Orochi, you could replace her with a Rang. So there's basically any wind there, the 4-star ones. As far as 5 stars, Savannah, Ethna, any wind damage dealer in that slot for her would be completely fine and acceptable, and will do probably better job than her, but if you don't have any of those, she definitely is something that you can build and utilize in here, as well as, like I said, she does offer the utility of being a great unit for your R5 team with the branding that she puts on with her skill 2, as well as she has a little bit of attack bar, absorb and pushback, which is really strong in R5. As far as the Royd goes, in terms of replacements for him, he's here basically for the defense breaks and consistent defense breaks. So you could replace him with a Feng Yang would be good. An Ethna is okay. A Savannah is okay. If you have other defense breakers in the team, then those 2 units can be okay. You could use a Fuiki in this team, or Fuki, however you say it, I'm not too sure, in the team here with his offering defense break on skill 1. You saw then the Riley did exactly what I was talking about with the procking through its skills and getting to the cleanse to cleanse the Oblivion off of the Royd. This is why Riley is so good in this team and is honestly an absolute must build for everybody's account. And because again, you use her in R5, you can use her in your arena defense, you can use her in a safe arena offense, you can use her in siege. She's absolutely usable everywhere. One of the absolute most broken units sort of in the game right now. So definitely want to utilize her. We'll just do another run. And then lastly, the Bernard. So the Bernard, a replacement for the Bernard, you could just like anything that's got a lead here will be okay. But honestly, he's so good in this dungeon here. He's such great utility that I think you should just run him. I prefer him over some other Nat 5s. But if you did want to replace him, try and just get something in here that's already got a lead as well. The Feng Yang is like not too bad. But I don't think he has. No, he only has a guild, so no, you can't use him for the lead. But the Orang, the Wind Nightales, offers a slightly bigger wind attack lead, so you could use her here. But I just like the Bernard as like I said, the great utility, offering that backup defense break as well as the speed and the turn cycling with his skill 3, and he kind of offers damage, really decent damage on his skill 1 too. So definitely something that I would recommend investing in the Bernard for this dungeon. But you can just sort of slap together, like I said, the Riley with some sort of semi-support / big bruisery type units. You can just put them in here as well. You can replace the Bernard with something like a Triana if you wanted to sort of replace the support role that he has in the team. It would give you then a little bit more stability with the extra cleanse from the Triana and the extra immunity. Basically, between the Triana and the Riley, you ain't gonna die with those 2 in the team. So as long as you can then bring a defense breaker that's consistent enough, or 2 semi-defense breakers, and then big damage, that's sort of the way you want to go with these dungeons. So definitely feel free to replace these units with some stronger 4 stars and some 5-star units. But for just a baseline, this is going to get you guys up and running. And the rune requirements for this dungeon is actually reasonably low, like especially compared to what it used to be. Because now we have artifacts, so you can actually get in and start farming this dungeon relatively early in terms of like your account progression. So you can still be early game and sort of farming this dungeon. Obviously you want to get through and 2A as many of the units that you're going to need to complete your all your dungeon teams and all your solo R5 and things like that. Once you've sort of got those done though, then I would look at building the team to start farming and getting these ancient runes and ancient grinds and gems as soon as possible, because this is the one area of the game that is not pay to win. The dimensional hole energy is the only thing in the game that whales can't buy more of, and that everybody free to play whale is on an equal footing. So the only way you can rebuy some more of these is out of the let me just show you here, which you guys should be doing this every week, by the way. This is one of the best ways to spend your crystals every single week, is purchasing the 3 extra dimensional hole times 10, so you get an extra 30 dimensional hole every single week. Definitely make sure you're doing that, because yeah, like I said, this is the only area in the game you can't buy dimensional hole packs. You can't refill it any other way than those 3 there, whether you spend $1,000 a week or whether you're completely free to play. So definitely want to get in and start farming these dungeons and getting those runes as soon as possible. So you can see here, none of the units have died. It's a reasonable time. It's honestly around between sort of the 1 minute 30 to 2 minutes sort of average, somewhere around there, which for dimensional hole is fine. It's not the fastest team. You can definitely speed this up, like I said, if you put in some higher damage units. We're utilizing some Nat 5s, but for me, this does the job. I'll quickly show you guys what I was running before. So this was my team prior to sort of making it sort of more free to play for you guys. This is the Savannah and then the Feng Yang here. So just so now I've got sort of 3 defense breakers, as well as still having my support with the Riley. Again, like I said, Riley basically is the glue. She just holds this entire team together. And then these 3 here. Now I've got a little bit more damage from the Savannah and the Feng Yang than what I did with the Royd and the Naomi. So a little bit more damage in this team here. So you definitely can mess around with it. You can have a look here at the strategy info, then go to monster info. You can see here. So obviously Riley, absolutely number 1. I think virtually everybody is using Riley in this team. She's just so good. And then here, this is exactly what's about the Savannah and the Feng Yang. So if you have those, then they work absolutely great. Tyrannus is another really good one. Dominic's pretty good too. Chung Pung's definitely usable. Ciara probably wouldn't so much, but you can sort of utilize these units here. You can see the Yen and the Orochi here for some 4 stars are pretty good, but for just fully free to play, 100% farmable, everybody can get these very easily. But there you have, boys. There's my 100% farmable, free to play Ellunia level 5 team, Sanctuary of Dreaming Fairies, whatever you want to call it here. But that's the team, boys. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.